Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Steve Kinney. I'm a producer and engineer. Welcome back to another installment in the Luna Basics series where we cover everything from top to bottom, front to back, all things Luna. Now, this is an evolving series, so as the Luna dev team continues to push out updates, I'll continue to cover them and build new videos as I go. So please subscribe to stay up to date. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the new control surface implementation. We're going to look at how to set up your control surface with Luna, some of the basic commands, and then we're going to be deep diving some of the really cool features that the dev team included in this release. Now, as we get started here, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more, and leave a comment below. I want to know what control surface you're using with Luna. And please consider supporting the channel further at thestevekinney.com, where I've got mixed templates as well as presets available for you guys to try out. It's a great way to support the channel. All right, so without further ado, let's dive into Luna and see how we can get this set up. So first things first, we're going to want to go to our settings panel inside of Luna. So we'll navigate down. And then from there, we're going to want to go to the controllers tab. You'll also want to make sure that your control surface is already on and running and that it's updated to the latest firmware for whatever controller that you have. So now moving on to connect my hardware here, what I'm going to want to do is scroll down to where it says MIDI control surface and input device specifically. I'll click that drop down menu. Choose my platform, Nano, choose my output device, and I'll just click the on button. Now it's connected. It's important to note that if you have a single channel fader device like the platform Nano, you're going to want to make sure that the focus module is selected. Now I'll get into that a little bit later in the video, but for now, just keep that in mind. So next, let's talk about some of the specific menu features here. The first one being Surface shows tracks from focused window. And when you click this menu, it gives you two options. It allows you to choose main window or focused window. So simply put, this is going to allow your control surface to determine what tracks it's pulling from. So let's look at a quick example of this. So to do this, I'm going to open up this simple mix that I have right now, and I'm going to choose new alternate window. And you can see that once I have this loaded up, if I turn off all of these tracks in this window, the fader now moves down to the 0 position. There's no tracks loaded, but as soon as I go back to the other window, it's going to return to its normal position as tracks are loaded. So you might ask, why would I even want to do this? Well, you could create multiple windows for a couple reasons, one being a bus-only mix. So you could create an alternate window just to see all of your buses. Another use might be that you want to have a main window have just your audio tracks, but then a separate window has every one of your tracks, including your buses, your aux effects, etc. Bank to selected track, this is pretty straightforward. Enabling this menu option is going to make sure that whatever track that you click on shows up on your control surface when you click on that track. It's worth mentioning that if you have a single fader controller like I do, no matter what you click on, it's going to follow and bank to that channel no matter what you do. This menu option mainly applies to control surfaces that have more than one fader. So for now, I'm going to leave this on. The next menu option that we have here is Scroll Luna when banking. And this kind of does the exact opposite effect. So say I start scrolling on my control surface. This is going to make the software follow what I'm doing on my hardware. The next menu option is Show Main Track. Now this is on by default and I like to keep it on personally. What it's doing is letting your control surface know that the main master fader is looked at almost like it's just another track. This is intended to be used with those control surfaces that have a dedicated master fader. So like the old MCU Pros, if your control surface has a dedicated master fader, you might want to turn this off, but you don't have to. So I'm going to leave mine on for now, and next we're going to go over surface fader tapers. Surface fader tapers is probably the coolest feature that I've seen in a DAW or any control surface software. Basically what it's doing is allowing you to control your DAW using the actual taper of your hardware. So for example, if you have the UF8 and you pull your track down to where it says -20 on the control surface, it's going to actually pull your audio down by 20 dB inside of Luna. And when it's disabled, it's going to follow Luna's standard taper. And this is also pretty cool. So if you have API summing or Neve summing enabled, now your control surface is going to follow the throw of something like a Neve console or an API console. And that's absolutely awesome. Just that extra attention to detail that Universal Audio always puts into their product. Pretty happy about that because it kind of gives you that real world feel, and that's really cool. So great job, UA. So on my platform Nano, there is no specific fader throw. It's just pure linear. So I'm gonna leave this off for now. And let's take a look and dive into actually using the device. Once you've got your control surface configured, you should be good to roll here. So I've got my track pulled up and all the usual suspects work. I can pan, I can mute, solo, can move the fader, pretty cool. I can arm my track. I can record ready my project. Pretty cool. I'm not going to record for now. I can play the song. I can bank. Let's take a look also here. We can scrub through the project. Pretty cool. We can zoom in and out of the project. The other one is enlarging the project, changing the size of the tracks. And one that I like a whole lot is I can also cycle through my tracks using the scrub tool. Now, I don't know if that's something specific to the platform Nano. I don't have other controllers to test out and use here, but that's just something that I noticed playing around with this. So pretty cool. And one thing you'll note also is if I click on a track, my surface will follow. And very, very cool. So now one of the really cool features that I thought was awesome about the original Luna release is the spill feature. So for example, my rhythm bus, if I spill that, you can see that now everything feeding that rhythm bus has been condensed down to just a few faders there. So if you have a massive session, it's a really easy way to manage that mix. So as it relates to control surfaces, they've also implemented this, and I haven't really seen this feature enabled anywhere else in any other DAW. So I thought that this was really cool that they were able to develop this for Luna. So if I were to hit the spill button on a larger control surface, everything that you see on the screen would then relate to that control surface as well. Now, as it relates to single fader control surfaces, when you choose the spill button, that spilled track, so for example, the rhythm bus here, becomes the highlighted track or the focused track on my focus controller. Really cool, super handy. And this feature is seriously powerful for larger mixes. It's really tempting me to go out and pick up some extension banks and create a really cool setup here. So I may or may not do that. We'll see. So that's all for our Luna Basics series on control surface support. If you're new to Luna, check out the other videos in the series. And if you've learned something new in this video, please give it a like, leave a comment below, and consider subscribing to the channel. And if you would like to contribute to the channel, or if you would like to support the channel further, go to thestevekinney.com where you can find my presets and my templates. They're available now. But until the next time, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.